Hey there, and welcome back to 901 Street Kings. I'm sitting inside my F-150 today, doing a little bit something different, but something you're going to see more of in the future. It's talking about this truck. I've had this truck for some time now, and there's a little bit of a story behind it, but what I'm focusing on today is going to be a product from SCT. It's called the BdX Performance Programmer, and I got it sitting right here. I'm going to run a quick through how to install it and set it up. And I know these videos probably been done to death, but I ain't trying to sell you anything, so I'm gonna go through it and show you how it works on an F-150. By the way, this is a 2018 with a 3.5 EcoBoost. It's about 43,000 miles on it right now. To get into it, so let's get it started. Whoop. And there it is. That's the box. BdX Performance Programmer. Flip it around. Hopefully you guys can see this. And nobody cares about a box anyway. I'm going to lay this here on my console. This is what it looks like. Now this is the, I think SCT makes several different programmers now. I think there's one probably above this. It's got a touch screen and all that. I could be mistaken. Money wise, I think this is the biggest bang for the buck. It comes with what you see here. Just the programmer. It's an HDMI interface. Everybody's HDMI now, and of course that's going to go into your diag port underneath the dash or wherever it may be on your vehicle. F-150 is going to be underneath the driver's side dash. One little quick thing to note about the body here, I'll use my phone mount. It's magnetic, comes in handy. You can't even, yeah, I knew I was going to do that. This little piece right here is what's actually magnetic. Let me hold this up. And get it to focus. Anyway, it says SCT on it, and it's going to clip right here in the back of the module, if you will. So just probably stick it just like that, just for purpose of this video. So clearly you're going to start by plugging your cable in, and you got your HDMI port, and I'm going to have to put this down. Stick that back on the mount. And the diag port's going to be down here underneath the dash. Okay, now I got it plugged in here. Push it all the way in on the diag port. And you're going to see the screen's going to light up. And it's already configured for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to exit out of here. It is not a touch screen, so these buttons right here is how you're going to navigate everything in here. So exit configuration, continue. They want you to roll the key on. That's what we're going to do, but I'm going to exit this. This is normally what it looks like. Program vehicle, gauges, data log, vehicle function, vehicle info. If you click on vehicle info, it's going to tell you to turn the key to on. Do not start. Press continue when ready. It'll give you the VIN, and it gives you a CAN number, which is going to be unique to this device and the ECM strategy, which comes from Ford. And I'm really not sure what ECM SWPN stands for, to be perfectly honest with you. But all these numbers are to do with your vehicle and this device, the trans strategy and different things, so it gets the right tune. It'll also tell you your axle ratio. I did change my tire size to make my speedo more accurate, because every Ford I've ever owned always shows you going about 3-4 mile an hour faster than what you're actually going. I get out with a tape measure and I measure my tires from the ground to the top, and I put that in there, and the speedo is dead accurate. Also will give you your TPMS, your warning threshold. It's not your tire pressure. If it goes below 35, the warning light's going to come on. So we can exit out. The thing about the SCT products and the Bully Dog now, for those of you that don't know, is it's all web-based. So you will have to have an internet connection when you tune the vehicle. It's going to download the files from the internet. It also updates the device, and this device, I'd say I've had it 7 months, 8 months, I don't know. It has updated almost every single time that I have plugged it in. I don't know what it's updating. I'm hoping that it's for the better, but it typically always updates itself. So that being the case, I'm here in front of my garage. I have Wi-Fi. The password and everything's already programmed in there, but when you get it at home, you will have to set your Wi-Fi up like you would your phone or any other device on your internet. Not a big deal. It'll go out and do what it needs to do once you get it set up. Vehicle functions, just like any good scan tool. You can read DTCs, clear DTCs, special functions. They're asking you to confirm the VIN, okay. Device updates. I'm gonna go ahead and continue and see if this thing will update itself. It's saying internet required, just as I told you before. So you can watch it. It's verifying the files. So it just popped up there. It is up to date. My device is up to date, so that's good. Hit OK. It's going back to vehicle functions. Turn the key off, continue. Now these are your vehicle functions. Cam reset, crank relearn, TPMS. Typically you don't have to mess with anything on these. So it says this procedure should be performed following a PCM replacement, certain internal engine repairs, CKP sensor, trigger replacement, clutch replacement, or when directed by service bulletin or service manual. Shouldn't be anything on that screen that you really have to do except your tire size, axle ratio. If you change those, you can clearly change it. Again, read codes. Gauges and data log. I use this to, sorry, I'm out of focus there. Gauges and data log. I use this for gauges. It reads it'll read anything your PCM reads. I've got boost, RPM, intake air, and my air fuel ratio for bank 2. They're generally going to read the same. I'm only reading one. Easy enough, you can go back and change it. Select gauge layout. You can have up to 6 items. If you put 6 on there, it's going to be real small and almost pointless to even look at. This thing, you can configure it so that it's this way. I think it's ugly and I don't like it, so I keep mine just like that. So you can data log, you can record this file and play it back later. If you're doing some of your own tuning or dyno stuff, that might come in handy for the most part. Or if you're having an issue, something's happening, it's going to give you some insight to what's dropping off or what's going on inside the engine. All right. Stop data log will get you back out of there. And now for the heart of everything is programming the vehicle. Again, it's going to ask you, is this the correct vehicle? Gives you the VIN. Real quick, you can, once you attach this to your vehicle and you program a tune on there, it is what's referred to as married to that vehicle. Okay? SCT says you can tune your vehicle as many times as you want with whatever tune you want to, or turn it back to stock, etc. So if you program your vehicle and you go to your buddy's car, truck, whatever it is, plug it in, it's not going to allow you to tune that vehicle because it's married to this VIN, and it's going to tell you so. If you return your vehicle back to stock and then go to your buddy's car, it will allow you to tune his car. But you can only have one vehicle at one time with this box. And it's also, I think you get 3, maybe it's 5, call SCT, I don't know. You only get to do that so many times, and then it's going to lock it to one of those vehicles, and they're going to want some money to unlock it. And I believe unlocking is available via the web. Now, you used to have to send it in. They think they charge you $50 or $60, but I think they'll unlock it over the internet once you pay them. So I'm going to confirm my VIN. Device updates, we can skip it because I just did it. Now, Cloud Sync. Cloud Sync is, for example, you got a mail order tune from Billy Bob out in Tucson or wherever that you think's the best tuner in the world, and you bought their tune. They can drop your tune in the cloud. You can take this box and go out on via the web, and you can download those files. Some places even sell their tune files. So if you go to their website, tell them you have an SCT BdX tune, and that's how you're going to retrieve the tune file. You give them your credit card number, they'll upload it for you, come out in your garage and tune your vehicle with it. That's really the beauty or the centerpiece of this tuning device, is you can do everything from the web. You don't actually have to wait on something to come in the mail or connecting from email and downloading or whatever. If you've got an internet access point, you can tune your vehicle, and you don't have to be real computer savvy to do it. I don't have any tunes. I'm using the CAN tunes. I'm not racing this truck. It is far and away fast enough for me for what I do with it. So I'm going to skip that. Some kind of crap that California probably made up. Yeah, street use notice. Ooh. Turn the key on and continue. All right, comes up program vehicle, available custom tunes, none. I didn't load anything from the cloud, like I mentioned. So we have preloaded tunes is for a 3.5 F-150, because that's what I'm driving. This box, the same box, will tune about, I don't know the number, thousands of vehicles. So you could have a Camaro, a Mustang F-150, a Silverado, or whatever, and this box will read the VIN, it'll go to the web and download the appropriate files, okay? So we've got a 3.5 F-150, transmission preloaded tune, 3.5 F-150, it's going to load the trans tune as well. Hit OK. The center button is OK on these, if I didn't mention that. And up, down, left, right, that's how you navigate. Let's do this. Additional tune options. So tune option summary is what's going to come up. The current configuration is 87 octane. I have the 87 octane tune on it. Air intake box, full race cold air intake. Stock front mount intercooler, I leave the auto start stop function enabled, even though it is quite annoying sometimes. Active grill shutters, I leave those enabled. I think there's some advantage to having that. You can turn it off. Side note, I don't know about a 2017, but the 2018 has shutters on the intercooler as well. And I think that may be from some of the previous models that had junk and condensation forming in the intercooler. I know at one point Ford was putting a piece of metal in front of the intercooler. Kind of asinine if you ask me. But this vehicle does have shutters on the intercooler. This box will not control them. I don't know why. I called SCT and explained to them that the grill shutter's working and the intercooler shutters don't. And they said, yeah, don't do the intercooler shutters. Have a nice day. Really no explanation, but I ain't mad about it. It'd be cool if you could turn them off and on, because I would like to see what my air intake temperature difference is. But it is what it is. So anyway, catch can, JLT catch can. I don't have a JLT catch can. I have a eBay catch can. Much more efficient on my pocketbook and does the same thing. Global spark, I don't know the function of that. Well, I know the function, but I don't know the purpose. You cannot add timing to this vehicle. If you go into the global spark setting, you can only take away timing. So I guess if you're experiencing some sort of spark knock and you wanted to pull some timing away over the whole range and see if it helped, that might be beneficial, but most of you guys aren't actually tuning your vehicle, someone else is. So if it's knocking, put better gas in it and quit driving the shit out of it. Okay, speed limit. Speed limit is set to off. Going to talk about that for a second. The speed limit does not work. So I will show you. And then rev limit and drive. I'm going to back up to speed limits. So I just want to touch on that for a moment. Rev limit and drive is 6,300. That seems to work. The vehicle shifts well before then. So unless you got it locked in manual, you're never going to see that RPM on a 3.5 anyway. I think I did test that out at one point and it did work. Currently, I don't know. The updates may be changing stuff. Rev limit and neutral, 5,200 RPMs. Complete bullshit. This vehicle will cut off before 4,000 in neutral and in park. It does not matter what I set this to, so that is a completely useless setting. Thank you, SCT. Idle speed, neutral, 675. That does work. You can set it as high as 800 something. We'll go in here and look. So that's how you look at your settings. If you are cool with everything that's there, you can arrow over and hit approve. If you want to change, clearly, you hit the center button. I'm not going to run an 87 tune. I am going to go to a 91 octane tune. I wish they made an 89 tune, is what I wish. Because this is a truck, and although I will get in the occasional little street heat every now and then, I don't really need to burn that expensive gas, and I'm not hot rodding around all the time. So I'm going to go with a 91 octane tune. And funny enough, it doesn't ask you what exhaust you have on here. So I guess they're not compensating or doing any dyno tuning with or without an exhaust. But they do an intake, which everyone knows makes zero difference. It's a stock motor. I don't care what intake you're running on it. The stock one flows enough to make over 500. You can change it till your head falls off and it's probably going to make zero difference. But I'm sure that'll spark a comment or three. Okay, intake airbox. I put full race cold air intake. It doesn't matter. I don't know why they need to know or what they're changing, but this is what works for me. I have a stock intercooler, auto start. We're going to go through all these settings. Let's do global spark so you can see. All negatives. You cannot add timing. I don't want global spark anyway. Speed limit is set to off. Why they gave you a speed limit of 20 mile an hour as an option? I guess if you're, I don't know, why you would only want to drive 20 mile an hour and take the time to tune your vehicle. No clue. But you go down through all these retarded, stupid speeds. I'm going to leave it at off, and I may get a chance to test that over the next few days. I'll let you know in the future, I guess. In the past, I set it to off, and it cut off at 105, which is what the stock cutoff is. If I set it to 125, matter of fact, I'm just going to set it to 125. It will go to 125. It will not do 1 mile an hour over. And if you set it to off, it's going to cut off at 105. I don't know why it doesn't work, and neither does the rev limit. So that's a little point of contention for me. And I'm going to go to approve. You can review the options again, make sure they're good, hit continue. Processing. And it goes to several little things here. And just if you're curious, 44,094 miles on my 2018. I did buy this vehicle used. It had quite a few miles on it when I got it. But I wanted to tune my vehicle, and I wanted to do a little video about this SCT. I thought it'd be interesting. Some of y'all would like it. This is an XLT. We can back up a little bit. I got that tiny little 4-inch screen. I added some Amazon Motor Trend floor mats. I actually like them. It's got the 60/40 seating. I didn't get the best options, but this truck has pretty much everything that I want. I have added some things. It is missing a brake controller. I am going to do some towing with this truck. I have done some towing, but I want a brake controller. I do have ForeScan. If y'all are familiar, if y'all want a video about ForeScan, I'd be happy to do one. I do have it. It's relatively straightforward. I turned the seatbelt chime off. I put it in Bambi mode so I can have all my lights on at one time. And I changed my DRLs to the fog lights. And probably a couple other things I can't really remember. Oh, and I installed a stereo, and I had to turn on the amplifier on switch. Okay, so now it's telling me turn the key off. Turn the key off, hit continue. It's really no different than the old programmers used to be at this point. If any of y'all ever had an old SCT or some of the other brands that's out there. Turn the key back on, hit continue. Basically, you just follow the prompts. You will get numerous messages on your instrument panel. Your headlights may come on, come off. And it says right there, it's writing the tune. And like I said, my headlights came on. Stereo is going to reset. And it says it's clearing the DTCs. Try to get everything in view here. Dome lights clicking off and on. Check engine lights flashing. So it says program vehicle, turn the key off and wait. As soon as you turn it off, you're going to get prompt to turn the key back on. You roll it back on. you get the same kind of situation. And it goes through, I think, 3 screens. And the whole process takes about, we can maybe time it on this video, but I'd say once you tune it the first time, if you want to change a tune or whatever, about 10 minutes. So if you got 10 free minutes, you can change the tune. So if you're running late or whatever and you're going to go to the track or whatever it is you're going to do and you want to throw the 91 octane tune on there or a custom tune or whatever, what have you, or your friend's borrowing the truck and you want to return it to stock, or you want to set the speed limit to 85 mile an hour, if your kids are driving it, you could do that as well. And it would take about the same time because it will rewrite the whole tune to change one option. And I may edit part of this out just in the interest of keeping the video short, because there's no need in us sitting here watching this thing count. Clearing the codes. And you get the magic lights across the dash where you set the stereo. Also, one point, I don't like this blue screen, so I typically set my screen to nighttime so that it's black. For whatever reason, when you tune the PCM, it will reset. It doesn't change your presets or anything, but that's one setting that it will reset in your stereo and you'll have to go back to doing it. Okay, so it finished its thing here. Let's just turn the key off. Redoing this. Roll the key back on. It's been programmed. You may turn the key off now and enjoy. So I rolled the key off. I hit done. Probably no need. Sit here for a minute. I'll go back to my gauges and data logs that I have already configured. But that's what it looks like. It's running a little over 8 pounds of vacuum. It's idling 680, 690. You can read it. Intake air temp is 8239. Showing to be 54 degrees outside. And it's running a pretty lean 14.6, 14.7 AFR. I have been driving the truck early this morning. I did an oil change on it as well, and that's why I wanted to go ahead and do the programming. So that's that. I'm going to leave it hanging right there on the dash, and I know some of y'all probably going to want to see what it looks like going down the road. It's kind of hard to tell, you know, but I'll do the obligatory drive because hey, we install stuff, test it, and we drive it. Just rolling on it, you can tell. We'll see just right here. This is in regular normal mode, 20 mile an hour. Just ease on it. Boost's kind of all over the place, but it did peak out at 15. It went 5, 7, 9, 15. If I put it in sport mode, so we get every gear. About 75. It was spinning tires. We get a little heat in them, but it runs pretty good, man. It's pretty good for a truck. I've had some with the big tune on there, the 93 tune, which isn't that, I never dynoed it, so I can't really say, but seat of the pants, not that much different. Some scat packs and stuff, you might lose in the end. It depends on how you catch the race if you're trying to race somebody, but they're definitely going to be saying WTF, baby. These trucks are pretty quick. Quarter pedal. One other thing while I'm rolling here, and I'll just do it for you. Let me go in and change one of these bad boys. Configuration, Ford gas, continue. Let's change this from coolant temp to you can see all the things you can set your gauges to. Anything the PCM reads, you can set it to. And you have a few analog inputs as well. So spark advance. Units, degrees, you hit approve. Between 7.5 and 9 degrees of timing. And we're just idling here at a red light because the person in front of me doesn't know how red lights work, or they don't know how green lights work. Seem to be very proficient with the red aspect of it. Anyway, we got an arrow, so Granny will make it this time for certain. 22 degrees, 24 degrees. Oh, that was hard to do one-handed. It went to -3. That's something that I've never seen before. What I was going to mention before when I did this, SCT isn't showing their timing strategy. I don't think it's pulling 6 degrees of timing. It would go, when you floored it, it would show a 4-digit number, something just completely out of this world. If you stayed at half pedal to a certain RPM, it would show you. I'm pretty sure that's just a random BS number they're putting up there. Someone out there can confirm that. I'd like to know, because I'm sure if I got this thing tuned, if it's actually reading the timing, then I want to know what the timing is. But that's that old tuning black magic. They don't want anyone to know. They probably don't want you to know how conservative it is, or how whack it is. Who knows, man. But mostly they're just turning the wick up on the boost on this thing. These EcoBoosts pretty they can gauge kind of what octane fuel you have in there, and they do some timing adjustments of their own. They're pretty flexible motors. In the future, when I get some dyno numbers, I'll put it back to stock and we'll run it, and then I'll put the tunes on there and we'll put down some numbers. That'll be a good video. But I'm gonna take it back home and park it. Okay guys, so back here in the driveway, little test drive. Hopefully you got a feel for it. Complete the review here on the SCT BdX tuner. When you buy it, you're going to get this box and this cable. You can leave it plugged in all the time to run your gauges, or you can program it and disconnect it. Hook it back up, read your DCTs or whatever it is you need to do with it. just to recap, I think this thing's about $350, maybe more than that, I don't know. I picked mine up on Amazon. Pretty good deal for the money. You get a definite performance increase on this vehicle. I know other people that's put them on NA motors. Obviously, you're not going to get as much, but the tunes are fairly decent is the point I'm making. I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately, but I think the 93 tune SCT says that the 3.5 EcoBoost will make 419 at the wheels. That's horsepower, and torque was like, whatever, don't quote me, but you're gonna, it's definitely, I would say it's a solid 30 horsepower, 35 horsepower increase, maybe more. Couple little points of contention that I mentioned before, the rev limits is not that big of a deal, but sometimes when you are troubleshooting or whatever, or say you're seafoaming your motor and you want it to rev past 4 grand, you want to get your valves rotating and you want to get some RPMs in it, you're not going to be able to do it because it's setting that RPM, and I never figured out why manufacturers set a neutral rev limit anyway, but that doesn't work right, and the speed cut doesn't work right. And I wish you could change the intercooler shutter. But as far as the SCT, it's definitely worth the money. And a dyno tune with it. You could take it to your tuner, have them tune it, and you could store multiple tunes. Well, you could have a tow tune, your own personalized tunes, one for economy if you're traveling, or you got one for race night, and you want to keep it mild the rest of the time. So hopefully I pretty much covered all the features, and you guys enjoyed the content. If not, oh well. Anyway, that's it for today, and hope you guys have a good one. And one last thing that I always have to say is, stay salty, my friends.